Hi everyone and welcome to the BujinTV Insight interview series. My name is James Pankovic and I'm joined today by Chris Romanelli from BujinTV.
Hi James, hi everybody.
Good morning Chris. And our guest today, Paul Enfield sensei, internationally renowned Goju-ryu practitioner and instructor. Hi Chris, hi sensei.
Hi, hello everyone. Thanks for inviting me.
We're very pleased to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us today. So today we're going to take a look into one of your videos which is posted on BujinTV, which focuses on Tensho kata. I was wondering, Sensei, if you would give us just a little bit of background about the seminar here and how you came to be teaching the Tensho principles.
So what we're trying to show for the participants and for people who watch the video is the importance of structure, of principles that are common in all of karate, martial arts, and human movement, but through the eyes of particularly Sanchin kata and Tensho kata. The Tensho kata drills that we do hopefully relate to the whole curriculum of Goju or any other style for that matter, actually. And we try to use those principles in varying situations. We're not teaching so much technique throughout the seminar. One of the reasons for that is because we have people from many different styles usually attend our seminars. It's not a predominantly Goju-ryu seminar, so we have people from Shotokan, people from practical karate, people from jiu-jitsu, all kinds of things who attend these seminars. We try to impart a few principles, and then the techniques that people have for themselves, they can use those principles within the technique or how to get to a particular technique.
There's a statement that comes through in the video there, was Tensho is a concept and not a kata. And I remember from the opportunities that I've had to train with you that came through very clearly and very strongly. Would you maybe extrapolate a little bit more about how you go from Tensho, which we recognize as a kata, through to sort of the principles and the skills that you extrapolate from that?
Yeah, okay. The first time I said about Tensho being a concept, not a kata, I actually said about Sanchin kata
Right.
a few years ago, because there was so much talk about how many steps do you take in one direction? Do you turn around and go back the other way? What's the difference between Goju-ryu and Sanchin and Goju-ryu Sanchin? Things like that. And there was all people paying attention to the little details rather than the overall arching principles that are meant to be being taught in these kata or exercises. So, for example, if I'm doing Tensho or Sanchin, although for the formal kata I repeat a certain number of steps forward, a certain number of steps back, it really is irrelevant to the principles, mainly because they're not technique. We're not learning about a specific technique. So, for example, in Tensho, for example, there'll be a movement where you raise the hand up like that. Well, a lot of people might teach that like someone grabs you, and when you lift your hand up and then come back down again, you release the grab and then you re-grab on them. Well, of course you can do that. But if you focus on that, you miss the bigger picture. And I don't know if we can see what Sensei Michelle is doing right now. She's actually doing part of a drill that we were taught by Taira Masaji Sensei. And we're sort of going through the principles of the kata, and later on we show how you might apply that or get to a position where you can apply the bunkai in your particular kata, whatever it is, applications. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but the idea that it's a concept is that it's not individual techniques. It's about positioning, structure, breathing, power development, and also absorption of energy.
Let's say I come from Shitoryu line, and we practice both Shuriten and Hate. my body type and my karate style leans towards nahate, kata, and movements. So normally when I structure my classes, I sometimes use Sanchin as part of Kihon. And I know Tensho is more difficult, a little more deep kata, but would you say that in Tensho we can analyze also the roots of Goju-ryu movements, the way you position the stances and how do you defend? And I talk a lot about flow within a kata and within a technique. So would you think Tensho is a great, or is it a good kata to practice the flow and the natural movements of a Goju-ryu practitioner?
Yeah, definitely. Again, I think Tensho is built on the foundation of Sanchin, if you like. So without a good understanding of Sanchin, Tensho just tends to be sort of wavy movements in the air. So you develop Sanchin, and you've got all your structure and your power development and that type of thing, and iron body, whatever else is you want to do, breath control and coordination of breath and movement. And then Tensho starts to open it up. It's almost like it opens it back up to maybe what the original Sanchin kata was at one time, where possibly there were more open hand movements. But whether you believe that or not, when I'm doing close hand movements, within those movements, there are all the possible open hand movements within that. They're just not being shown at the time. So one thing Tensho adds is that we do the linear movement, but then we also do the circular movement where we go from inside to out and we go outside to in, and we have the vertical movement this way and also the lateral movement. And so I think that probably adds a dimension to what you're talking about, the flow. And when you look at, for example, Mawashuke at the end of Sanchin, all of the Mawashuke movements are individualized within Tensho, so it helps you to understand a little bit more about what you're doing. And by that I mean, when I do a movement, and I come this way, and then I go back that way. When I do it in the drill, I'm doing both at the same time. I'm doing the actual block, and Mawashuke. Maybe you just don't realize that, and Tensho individuates all that. And so I think one key thing about Tensho and what you're talking about is that very quickly, and the video, hopefully we show bits of this in the video, very quickly you change from one direction to another. So you pressure the opponent in one direction, and if you don't hit them and finish your movement and they intercept your movement, then you quickly change your direction of movement, and you essentially let them fall into whatever it is you're trying to do in the first place. So yeah, I think the idea of Tensho is, yes, it flows for you, interrupt part of movement, so you can take advantage of that anyway.
Thank you.
I certainly think one of the qualities that we see demonstrated through this entire video and your Tensho teaching is how you're constantly connected and sort of stuck to the opponent, feeling their movement, feeling their weight shifting, drawing them in to, let's say, unbalanced and compromising positions. This kind of stickiness, that seems to be a very, very important concept and indeed skill that you need to cultivate in order to be able to sort of realize the principles of Tensho. Is that right?
I think you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, I do believe that is right. And I think kata in general, whenever you look at kata assumes that you have entered into the distance of the opponent and you are now touching the opponent, if you like. In other words, it's not a shadow boxing type of exercise kata. It's all about being engaged with the opponent. And so if you're engaged with the opponent, if you don't know how to manipulate that engagement, then you'll just get repelled or hit or unbalance yourself. So along with things like kakie, which is the sort of push hands type of exercise, kakie, ude kanden, or kote kipae, which also is a sticking exercise. The connector drills that we show here, and we also do a couple of clinch type drills. So that's stickiness and adhering to the opponent is what you have to be able to do to make the technique work. Otherwise, you might as well just stand off and kickbox. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's usually the first level of the movement if you're defending yourself and probably not doing law enforcement or something. But so there's nothing wrong with doing that. But that isn't what the kata is showing. And so Tensho hopefully assists in your goal of being able to do that a little bit more skillfully.
Absolutely. Well, this has been a fantastic insight into just one of your videos, which is on BujinTV. And for people that want to find this, just need to go to BujinTV and search for Tensho. Thank you, Paul Enfield Sensei. This has been fantastic. Thank you for your time again.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. And